protesting students at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape. Students started protesting this morning as part of nationwide protests against proposed increases in tuition fees. They've been blocking the entrance to the university. Now, for the latest, we are now joined on the line from Port Elizabeth by our reporter Abongile Dumako. A very good morning to you, Abongile. And what have been the protesters been telling you about what is happening there on campus?
Good morning, Elvis. Indeed, it's relatively calm thus far, which is quite a different story from what we witnessed here when we arrived in the early hours of this morning, where we've seen a number of students being shot at by police using rubber bullets. They were trying to disperse those crowds who were actually sitting at this very traffic circle I'm standing in right now. So currently they are further down at the North Campus. They're trying to force themselves into the admin block, but they have since been pushed away by police, whom we have seen being visible throughout the campus from the early hours of this morning. But basically now I'm joined by Amanda Didiza. He's a law student from Queenstown. He says he's in solidarity with what is happening here at the NMMU because he's one of those students who are from the rural Eastern Cape who are finding it difficult to actually afford fees here at NMMU. Amanda, good morning to you, and of course welcome to SABC News. You are here, you are protesting. What do you hope to see happen next?
Well, what I must first say is that student protest and student behavior is not random. It's guided by conditions that seek to oppress the students. And it's about time that the NMMU stood close in solidarity with this protest. And it's about time that we took a stand, because these hiking student fees are one that seeks to cripple the students. You know, education has now become a luxury for which we must pay exorbitant fees for. And what I want to see next is that the office of the VC and all management and council should stand together, as well as the SRC, to fight for student fees and to decrease these student fees.
Okay, in accordance to what we've seen going on through the country, you know, with the Wits University having taken to the 4 roads in Grahamstown, we've seen a bit of violence even in Cape Town as well. What's your take on the fact that these protests end up being violent?
Yeah, I mean, this is a national student crisis. It's one that affects and appeals to every single student. You know, these are protests that are seen as undesirable behavior, and such undesirable behavior is a result of bad institutions. I think government and institutions need to realize that this is not just a random act of student negligence or any form of student behavior, but it is one that affects every single student, and is one that every student needs to stand in solidarity towards, because these are problems and these are areas that affect students from the pocket to the books.
Now, I understand that the Vice Chancellor at NMMU, Derek Swartz, is meeting with you guys at 1 o'clock. What are you going to say when you see them in that meeting?
I think what's imperative is for us to have a mandate, one that seeks to suggest that fee increments must be accounted for. You know, if fees increase by about 10%, that 10% times 27,000 students is 2.7 million. That every cent must be accounted for. If better facilities are improved, then the institution should then inquire as to has they exhausted all other measures before they then result to an increment of students, because we're the weakest party. It's the one area that affects us, and it's on the results. It's imperative of the institution to then account for every single cent that they utilize and make sure that the student interests are protected.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you very much for your time.
Well, there you have it, Elvis. Quite adamant students here saying that they're going to continue with what they're doing because they believe it's within their rights that they are provided for free education, so that they can be able to have the luxuries that some of the other students have had in the past. So that's it from here in PE for now. It's back to you in studio in Johannesburg.